Do you know that during the Crusades, some knights used pigs as weapons against their Muslim adversaries, a bizarre tactic in a tumultuous era of history? In the annals of history, the Crusades stand as a multifaceted chapter, marked by both holy zeal and gruesome atrocities. As the West clashed with the East in the name of religion, they unleashed a series of events and dark incidents that shaped the course of medieval Europe. The journey eastward during the First Crusade was marred by the tragic People's Crusade in 1096, which was comprised of an unorganized mass of commoners with little training or leadership. Among those associated with this crusade was Peter the Hermit, a charismatic preacher who inspired many to join the cause. As they passed through Hungary and Byzantine lands, they pillaged and looted, leaving a trail of chaos in their wake. This uncontrolled violence was an ominous foreshadowing of the atrocities to come during the Crusades. The lack of organization and discipline in the People's Crusade led to its ultimate downfall, with many members falling victim to violence, hunger, or disease during the chaotic march to the Holy Land. In 1097, the Siege of Antioch during the First Crusade was a prolonged and brutal affair, with the Crusaders led by prominent figures like Bohemond of Taranto and Raymond IV of Toulouse. They encountered determined resistance from the city's defenders, which included Muslims and Christian Armenians. The inhabitants of Antioch faced extreme hardships as the siege dragged on, and the suffering was so severe that desperate residents reportedly resorted to a horrifying act of cannibalism. They threw the dead bodies of their loved ones over the city walls to feign strength, only to consume human flesh to survive. While the exact number of casualties is unclear, it's reported that thousands died from hunger, disease, and the ongoing conflict, emphasizing the heavy toll this siege took on both sides. In the scorching summer of 1099, the Battle of Ascalon became a defining moment in the First Crusade's journey to conquer the Holy Land. Fresh from their recent capture of Jerusalem, the Crusaders, led by renowned European commanders, faced the formidable Fatimid forces led by Al-Afdal Shahanshah. The battle began with a fierce skirmish near the walls of Ascalon, where the Fatimid cavalry launched a devastating charge. The European knights, however, stood their ground, undeterred by the ferocity of the attack. The turning point came when Raymond IV of Toulouse ordered a tactical retreat. This clever ruse lured the pursuing Fatimid cavalry into disarray, opening the door for a devastating counterattack by the Crusaders. The battle raged on, with the Crusaders ultimately emerging victorious. They captured Al-Afdal Shahanshah, marking a pivotal moment in the conflict. The Battle of Ascalon secured the Crusaders' grip on Jerusalem for nearly a century. The Siege of Lisbon in 1147, a pivotal event in the Second Crusade, revealed the grim brutality of medieval warfare. After the city's capture, the Crusaders, led by King Afonso, one of Portugal, and North European Crusaders, mercilessly massacred a significant portion of the city's Muslim and Jewish inhabitants. The indiscriminate violence left Lisbon soaked in blood, a haunting reminder of the extreme acts of violence that often accompany religious conquest during the Crusades. The Battle of Hattin, a pivotal event in the history of the Crusades, unfolded in 1187 with a series of real facts and dark stories that have intrigued historians and readers alike. One glaring strategic blunder committed by the Crusader forces, led by Guy of Lusignan, was their failure to secure a water source in the arid terrain surrounding Hattin, a mistake that would prove costly. On the other side, Saladin, the Muslim commander, displayed cunning by employing scorched earth tactics, destroying crops, and contaminating water sources to weaken the Crusaders. Dehydration plagued the Crusader army as they ran out of water, further exacerbated by political and personal rivalries among their leaders, leading to a divided command. To add to the dark narrative, Saladin's forces managed to capture the revered relic known as the True Cross, a symbol of Christianity, which demoralized the Crusaders. The battle ended in a devastating victory for Saladin, with thousands of Crusaders killed and King Guy of Lusignan and other nobles taken captive. Following Hattin, Saladin's forces besieged and eventually captured Jerusalem, marking a significant turning point in the Crusades. The aftermath of the battle witnessed brutal executions, such as that of Reynold of Chatillon, ordered by Saladin. The political fallout was immense, weakening the Crusader States' position in the Holy Land, and Hattin's legacy reverberates as a critical moment in the Crusades, leading to the eventual downfall of the Crusader Kingdom of Jerusalem and the Muslim recapture of key territories. The Third Crusade featured a formidable trio: Richard the Lionheart, Philip II of France, and Emperor Frederick I of the Holy Roman Empire. Their conflict with Saladin, the Muslim leader, led to the fall of Acre in 1191. After the city's capture, Richard ordered the massacre of over 2,000 Muslim prisoners, an incident that demonstrated the brutality on both sides of the conflict. As the Crusades continued, the brutality persisted. In 1204, during the Fourth Crusade, Crusaders betrayed their Christian brethren by sacking Constantinople. The city, a bastion of Eastern Christianity, was looted and its citizens subjected to violence. Priceless treasures, including religious artifacts, were stolen or desecrated, leaving a dark stain on Christian unity. The Children's Crusade of 1212 is a dark and tragic chapter in the history of the Crusades. This ill-fated event saw thousands of young, untrained children embarking on a perilous journey with the fervent belief that their innocence would lead to divine intervention and grant them success in reclaiming the Holy Land. However, the stark reality that awaited them was one of extreme hardship and suffering. As they traversed long and treacherous paths, exhaustion, starvation, and disease took a heavy toll on these youthful idealists. Many met tragic ends, succumbing to the unforgiving conditions of their journey. Even more distressing was the fact that some of these innocent children were deceived and sold into slavery, underscoring the desperation and naivety that often accompanied the fervor of the Crusades. The heartbreaking truth is that the vast majority of these young Crusaders never reached the Holy Land, and their noble quest ended in profound tragedy, leaving a haunting reminder of the harsh realities of the era. The Albigensian Crusade, a protracted and brutal conflict, unfolded during the pursuit of Cathar heretics in southern France. The Siege of Béziers in 1209 is particularly notorious for the chilling command issued by the papal legate Arnaud de Maury: "Kill them all, God will recognize his own." This brutal order resulted in the merciless massacre of countless men, women, and children. The culmination of the Albigensian Crusade and the suppression of the Cathar heresy occurred in 1244 with the fall of the fortress of Montségur. Over 200 Cathars met a gruesome fate as they were burned at the stake. The ruthlessness exhibited in the eradication of this heresy underscores the extreme measures to which the Church and the Crusaders were willing to resort in their fervent efforts to enforce their particular interpretation of Christianity. The year 1291 witnessed a grim and decisive moment in the history of the Crusades. It marked the final siege of Acre, which also signified the end of the Crusaders' presence in the Holy Land. As the city of Acre fell to the Mamluks, many of its Christian inhabitants faced a dire fate. They were subjected to massacre, enslavement, or forced conversion to Islam. The harrowing and tragic destiny of those who had clung desperately to the last Crusader stronghold in the region served as a somber and melancholic conclusion to an era characterized by religious fervor, conflict, and the clash of civilizations. The fall of Acre in 1291 remains a poignant reminder of the brutal realities that often accompanied the Crusades and the immense toll it exacted on the lives of those involved. The Crusades, a complex tapestry of human ambition, faith, and cruelty, leave behind a legacy that includes both dark chapters and bright moments, illustrating the intricate interplay between religion, power, and the unfolding of human history. Despite the dark incidents and bloodshed that marred the history of the Crusades, their profound impact on Europe cannot be denied. These holy wars stimulated trade and cultural exchanges with the East, eventually leading to the Renaissance, while also providing the impetus for European exploration, culminating in the discovery of the New World.